Okay, we are live. I think. Let me just double check. Give me a few minutes. Just to make sure that. Okay, we are live. I can see. Welcome everyone who's watching this video live or you are watching on replay. So this is going to be my last cover and chat session for this year. I'll be doing many more in 2022. So, keep an eye on the sessions that I'll be doing next year as well. This session is all about goal setting, social media, setting your goals in social media. I thought this would be the best time to do it because I know that most people are kind of planning their social media for next year. And so I thought I'd take you through goal setting, because I know it can be quite difficult to know what goals to set for social media, because it's going to be different for everyone. So what your goals are is going to be completely different to what someone else is going to be setting. So what I thought I would do is take you through the process of the types of goals that you can set for social media and how you can measure them. And also, the most important thing is how to stick to them as well. Because I know if you're like me, most of the time we set goals and in a couple of months' time, they're gone. We don't stick to them, we forget about them, and we move on to something else. So the most important thing is to make sure that you set goals that you know that you can definitely stick to, because believe me, when you do set those goals, you'll see a complete change in how your social media strategy is planned out, and it'll become more clearer. But we'll go into this in a minute. So let me just share my screen with you and we will get started. Okay, let's present this. Okay, right, I think you can all see that, can't you? Okay, so what is a social media goal? So a social media goal is something that you want to achieve from your marketing activity. It's as simple as that, really. So it's something that that you want to achieve, and you can do this by marketing on social media. So yeah, essentially that is what it is, that simple. There are many types of goals that you can set. Some are going to be short-term goals that you're going to want to set and achieve by a short term, so in the next couple of days or a couple of months. And or you can set long-term goals, so something that's going to be your long-term goal for maybe the end of the year. Okay, so you've got short-term and long-term goals. So an example of a short-term goal is, say for example, that you want someone to buy a new product that you've just released or just launched. So you can create an advert for that product launch, and the short-term goal would be to get people to buy that product within the next few days, the next couple of weeks. Okay, so that is a short-term goal. An example of a long-term goal is something that you want to achieve long-term. So that could be over the next year or the next 5 years if you have a yearly plan, or a 5-yearly plan. So that's something that you want to achieve long-term. So an example of this is, within the next year, you want to increase your followers on Facebook, or you want to increase your followers on Instagram, or maybe you want to increase your engagement, or build a community around your brand. That's more of a long-term goal. Okay. Just before I forget, you can ask questions at the end. If anyone has got any questions, feel free to ask them at the end. Or if you're watching on replay, you can post a comment. That's absolutely fine, and I can answer your questions that way. Okay, so we know that we need to set goals, but what is the point in setting goals? What would we achieve in setting goals on social media? Okay, so whenever I speak to a new client, take on a new client, the first two things that I always ask is, number one, what is it that you actually want to achieve from your social media? You know, that is the main question. And who is your ideal client? Okay, so they are the building blocks of a social media strategy. So what do you want to achieve from it, and who is your ideal client? So we're going to focus on the first thing is what you want to achieve from social media. And yeah, that's a whole nother, the ideal client thing is a whole nother session, but so I can do that in a different time. So what are the benefits of setting goals? I've noticed this when I do social media for my clients and also for myself. There are so many benefits when you set goals. One of them is to actually just streamline your whole work process. If you set goals, then your whole work becomes more streamlined. You know, you can manage your time better on social media if you know what it is you're actually working towards. When you set goals, you know what's working and what's not working, and you don't then waste your time on things that are not working. Okay, because when you set that goal, you know what that end goal is, and you can think, well, actually, I'm doing these posts, but they're not actually achieving what my goal is. So I'm not going to do those types of posts anymore. I'm going to do something else. Okay. So you'll know exactly what is working and what is not working for you. And also it's a way of managing your budget. So you may have a budget that you set throughout the year of what your social media budget, and you may have a budget for adverts. Okay. So when you set that budget for your adverts and you think, well, actually, the goal of this particular advert is this, but it's not working, you can then budget much better. Okay. Another thing what I think why people don't like setting goals is they kind of overcomplicate them. And when things become too complicated, this is when you lose all interest. So try not to overcomplicate your goals at the very beginning. If this is the first time that you are setting goals for social media, make sure that they are simple goals to begin with. Okay, so they'll be much more achievable. Okay, so we don't like setting goals. We feel that they're going to be too complicated or they won't really benefit us. But if you don't set goals, how do you know what you're working towards? You'll be posting sporadically and you won't actually know if what you're posting is working or achieving those goals. So there's nothing to work towards. So this is why goal setting is so important when it comes to social media. So you may have heard of this method before. It's the SMART process, and it can be used in social media like it can in anything else when setting goals. So the SMART process stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Okay, so these are the things you want to concentrate on whenever you're setting a goal, whether it be in your general life or whether it's a social media goal or a marketing goal in general. These are the points that you're going to want to keep referring back to. Okay. But what I really kind of want to stress is that everyone's goals are going to be completely different. Okay. Even if you're in the same business as someone and you're in direct competition, you're going to have completely different goals, okay? Because every business is different. So just remember that what other people are saying are their goals is going to be completely different to what your goals are. Okay, so if we move on to the SMART process, so the S in SMART process stands for specific. So you want to be really specific on what you want to achieve from your goal. Okay, so for example, I want to grow my business on social media. Everyone wants to grow their business on social media. That is really not specific enough. You know, that is a goal for everyone. So you need to be more specific in that. I want to have more followers on my Instagram account. Yeah, you know, everyone does, but you need to get down to the specifics in order for you to achieve those goals. Okay, so I want to sell X number of candles from this one Facebook advert. That is more specific because you know exactly what it is, what your end goal is. You want to sell 2 candles from this one Facebook advert. And that can be quite achievable. It's quite specific. Okay, so the more specific, the better. So measurable. I know that it can be sometimes social media, measuring things can be quite difficult, and especially measuring return on investment. Yeah, it is quite difficult when it comes to social media on how to measure. But once you kind of understand how to measure your different goals, it will become much more clearer. Okay. So you want to think about how easy it is to measure these goals that you have set. If they're not easy to measure, then you won't know that you've achieved them. Okay. So, for example, measuring followers is easy because what you'll do is you'll note down your followers at the beginning of setting your goals, and then you'll note down the followers after, and you can see an increase. Okay, so that is quite an easy measurable goal to set. And I would suggest using social metrics to help you measure your goals. If you look into Facebook Insights, if you look at your Instagram analytics, you know, they are really good at helping you to measure your goals. So always go into that when at the beginning of setting your goals. So note down, like I said, how many, if your goal is to increase followers, note down how many followers you get. If your goal is to increase brand awareness, note down how many people your posts are reaching. And then again, in a couple of months' time, if that's your time frame from your goal, see how many people your post is reaching after then, and you can tell whether what you're doing is working. If your posts are reaching more people, you know that your goal is working. If it's not reaching as many, then you know that something needs to change. Okay, and you need to readjust your goals, your social media strategy. Okay, so use things like Business Suite. You know, have a look at the insights in there. It'll give you a lot of information in there, but you can also use a third-party tool like Sprout Social or Hootsuite. They give some really good kind of insights to your social media. Okay, so but do whatever feels comfortable for you and what feels easy for you. Okay, so that's the second one. That's measurable. Relevant. So, hold on. I missed A now, haven't I? No. Okay, we'll go back to that. So, relevant. So, does your goal fit in with your overall social media plan? Okay. For example, if you have 0 followers, your goal will be to increase followers. Your goal won't be to get more sales, if that makes sense, because you need those followers there in order to make those sales. So if you have 0 followers, your goal will be to increase followers. Your goal won't be to make more sales because you're not going to make those sales without any followers. Okay. If your goal is to build a Facebook group with engaging members, you're not going to waste time. You're not going to waste time on creating, I've put Reels there, on creating Reels on Instagram because that it isn't in line with your goal. Okay. So if your goal is to build a Facebook group with engaging members, what you're going to do is your goal is going to be to actually go into other Facebook groups and have conversations with other members to then try and get them into your Facebook group. Okay. You're not going to want to focus on creating fun reels because, you know, that is not going to achieve your goal. Okay. So timely. So this is a really important one. So you need to kind of set realistic timescales for your business. As I said before, don't worry about what anyone else is doing. If my goal was to grow my Facebook group to 100 members in 1 month, is that achievable for me? Yes, it is. I think it is, because I will then write down what I need to do in order to reach that goal. Okay, so I'll be, okay, so I want to grow my Facebook group. I will make sure that the link to my Facebook group is in my email signature. I'll make sure that is in my website. I'll make sure that is in my bio in my Facebook. I'll make sure that it's in my LinkedIn bio. I will make sure that I will remind people in an email marketing campaign about my Facebook group and why they should join my Facebook group. Every time someone signs up to my lead magnet, when they get an email, I will put on there, make sure you join my Facebook group. So yeah, I know that is achievable for me, because I've got these little snippets of ideas of how I want to grow my Facebook group. Okay, and I have a strategy in how to get those members. If one of your objectives is to, get 10,000 followers on Instagram in one day, that's not going to happen. That realistically, that's not going to happen for you. So just make sure that you have a time frame in mind for when you want to set that goal. Okay, because if you have an open-ended time frame, I can guarantee you're not going to be proactive in working towards that goal, because you'll be like, well, actually, I've not set any time frame, so I'll leave that for now. I'll do that next month because I've not set a time frame, and then you'll forget about it again and move on to the next time frame. Okay, so yeah, just make sure that you have a set time of when you want to achieve that goal by, because you're more likely to achieve it. Okay. I'll go back to that in a bit. Okay, so the different types of goals for social media. These are just a couple that I've given as an example. There are many more out there, but I just wanted to give you a few examples of the type of social media goals that you can work towards. Okay. So the first one is brand awareness. So brand awareness is all about reaching a wider audience and basically people getting to know you and your brand. Okay. And it's this can be measured by how many people you're reaching. So basically what it is what you're looking for is the reach of your, your Facebook posts or your Instagram posts. Okay. And another thing that you could also focus on is how many shares your posts have got, because obviously the more shares that you're getting on the post, the wider audience it reaches. Okay. So, and brand awareness is a great one if you're just starting out in business, okay, and you just want people to maybe get to know you a little bit better, and what your brand is about, what your values are about. So this is a great one if you're just starting out in business and you just want to increase your brand awareness, okay. Followers, again, if you're just starting out in business, you're going to want to increase your followers, okay, because when it comes to the point when your goal is to kind of nurture an audience ready to sell to them, you need followers to be able to do that. Okay, so again, that is also for people who are just starting out, or if your social media platforms have become a bit stagnant and you want to grow your followers, then your a goal of increasing followers is that's going to be a good one for you. And again, you can measure followers. It's quite simple to do. You count how many followers you get at the beginning and then how many followers you get at the end. And obviously, if your followers have increased, then you know that you're on the right path. Community building is all about getting in engagement on your posts, on your social media. How many people are liking your posts or commenting on your posts, or they're actually talking about your brand elsewhere. So that's all about community building and as I would call it, kind of nurturing an audience ready for that next phase to be able to sell your products and services to them. Because the more engaged they are with you and the more they get to know you, then they're going to more than likely sell to you. Okay, so that is another type of goal. Community building is making sure that you know, your community in your Facebook group or your Facebook page or your Instagram is actually interacting with you. You know, they're commenting on your posts. You know, they're watching your stories. They're signing up to your newsletter and to everything like that. Okay, that's all about community building. Another type of goal is website visits. So yeah, if your goal is to try and encourage more people and direct more people to your website, to a particular product or a particular service that you really, really want to promote, that is another type of goal, visits to website. And the way you kind of measure that is you need to see how many people are actually clicking through to your website. And if that is your goal, then obviously on your social media, you need to post links to your website. Okay, so that is the only way you're going to achieve that goal, is by posting website link into your social media. Some people just use social media to delivering customer service. So they want to make sure that, you know, their customers are using their social media as a way of reaching out to them, either through like Facebook Messenger, sending them a tweet. So yeah, there are brands out there who just use social media as a way of connecting and delivering some sort of customer service to their followers or their customer services. So that is another type of goal, that maybe you want to deliver a more kind of streamlined customer service. You want to make sure that each and every one of your customers is looked after. And the way of doing that, improving customer service, is make sure that you reply to a comment on your post in a certain amount of time, like within the hour. So yeah, so they're just the 5 types of goals that you could set yourself for the new year. But there are other ones out there. And as I said, everyone is going to have a different type of goal anyway. So something that I kind of come across in the last few months, I'm not sure if everyone's got this yet, is using Facebook Business Suite to set goals. As I said, not sure if everyone's got this, but if you go into Business Suite and you go onto your homepage, look on the right-hand side, you'll see this little graphic here. So they're trying to kind of encourage you to set social media goals. And what it will do is give you a step-by-step process of setting a particular goal depending on what it is you want to achieve. Okay, so as I said, Business Suite itself gives you a step-by-step process of creating a goal. And it's it's a really good way of kind of keeping you on track, because you'll go into your Business Suite every now and again, and it will say, oh, you're 97% there to reaching your goal. So if my goal was to increase brand awareness, and it says, okay, you're 97% there, you've got 3 days left to reach 100%. And you think, okay, so what else can I do to get to this 100%? What can I do to increase reach more people? Maybe I will do a live video, or maybe I'll post a couple more times than what I would normally post. So it's a good way of kind of keeping you on track if you're not used to setting your goals. You know, Business Suite gives you that little bit of help, which is good. Okay, that was a lot to go through. I hope that I managed to kind of go through everything. I noticed that I did miss out a slide here. I don't know where that is, but what I can do is summarize in the comments once I've posted, like everything that I've gone through and the bits that I've missed out. What I'm going to do is in a minute stop sharing my screen with you all. But if you've got any questions, even if you don't want to ask them in Facebook, feel free to either send me an email or send me a message on Instagram or through Facebook. But this whole thing that I've gone through, goal setting, forms part of my new program, which is the Social Media Clueless Confidence program. So it's just a snippet of what you expect from me. So the reason why I've set up this program is because I know that there's many of you out there who wants to take full control of their social media, who wants to be involved in their social media, who wants to grow their business on social media to, be more consistent, to getting those followers, to increasing brand awareness, getting those sales. And you kind of want to become your own social media manager. You haven't got the budget to outsource it to a social media manager. That's fine. You want to kind of take control of it yourself. So that's why I've come up with this Social Media Clueless to Confidence program. There's 8 modules in there. I've got time to go through them all now. That's supposed to say workbooks. There's weekly Zoom sessions. There's other bonuses as well. 2 of the bonuses I've got is that we go through an SEO, a basic SEO plan as well. So search engine optimization. We can go through that for your business. And there's also like a content planner as well that I can set out for you. So you know exactly what content it is that you want to post throughout the year. So I'll give you a planner. So you never run out of content ideas. You've always got posts there. I will make sure that the content that you plan is right for your business, depending on your goal, whether it is more followers, brand awareness, if you're trying to sell a product, or if you're launching a new course like myself, I will make sure that that is all tailored to you. And because of that, I'm only having a few people that I want to enroll in this program, because I just want to make sure that I cover everything to help you and your business. Okay, so 8 modules, workbooks, weekly Zoom session, bonuses, and so basically the whole value that I've put into this course is for 1499. But because it's the first time that I'm doing this course on a bigger scale, you can pay 697. So that's 697. It starts in January. If you book before the 31st of December, you get another 10% discount as well. So yeah, I'm really excited about that course. And as I said, I only kind of want a handful of people to come onto this course, so I know that I can really make a difference for you. So, but if anyone's got any questions about this, if you want me to send a link about this program, please let me know and I will do that. Or if you've got any questions, again, let me know. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I can't see who's commented on this. It's coming as Facebook user, because the reason why is I'm doing this live through something called StreamYard. And unless you accept StreamYard, it won't let me see who's commented on the post. But I've got one saying, hey, Hannah, I'm watching while ironing. Hey, Justin, I'll be calling skills soon. Yes. Yeah. My brain is shutting down soon. My brain is going to be shutting down soon. So I think I've just kind of, I don't know about you, but I'm in kind of in the mode now where Christmas is coming and we just need to get done for this year and start afresh in the new year. So yeah, I agree with whoever said that. My brain is shutting down soon. Spot on about goals. Without them, you don't know what you're doing is working. And for years, I didn't sort of set any goals. I was just kind of doing it and blagging my way through social media, thinking, okay, yeah, so today, yeah, my goal is brand awareness. But then on the next day, yeah, my goal is could be more followers. I think you need to kind of strategically stick to your goals and make them as achievable as possible. Yeah, so I'm going to have a look at that goal section on Business Week later. It's really a good idea because, like I said, it just helps you to keep on track, because every time you go into Business Week, as I said, you'll get a little progress section and saying, you success. I think you get a little medal if you've not a real medal, they don't send you a medal, but a little on-screen medal. You've achieved your goal for this month, and then you can go on to your next goal. So yeah, it's a really good way. But as I said, I'm not sure whether that's available to everyone, and that's sod's law that I tell you about this fantastic new thing, and most of the time you don't have it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Small achievements also make you feel like you're making progress and not going insane. Definitely. And I can guarantee when you do reach those goals and you achieve those goals, it gives you that kind of energy to then move on to your next goal as well. And you think, and you feel so much better in yourself about it as well, because you're like, well, actually, this is achievable. This is something that I can do. And then it kind of snowballs into a bigger scale thing. And then you're working towards, much bigger goals, and, you feel quite proud of yourself that you've achieved them. So yeah, thanks for joining me. As I said, this is my last one for this year. Next year, I'll be doing lots more kind of live videos as well. I think in the new year, my next one is going to be content planning. So we'll go through, what content gets the best engagement, what content gets the most followers, and also planning out content so you never run out of content ideas as well. And also be discussing content pillars, which again is a whole nother area. So have a good Christmas, drink and eat lots. Yeah, I think we all need to, after the few years that we've had. I'm hoping Christmas isn't cancelled. So yeah, but thanks ever so much for everyone that joins me in these live sessions, or if you watch on the replay. I really do appreciate it, and have a great Christmas, and I will see you in the new year.